On Sunday, we're going to give you guys the full video for the week ahead, but for now, we're just going to do some hourly charts to give you guys that technical analysis for the SPY, Qs, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, and Nvidia. And then at the end, I'm going to show you a signal that has called every single reversal in this market since July. But first, let's go through some hourly charts. You can see that our risk range for the week was up to the upside of this 460.54, and you can see we approached it and we closed within that 68% zone. That's what makes these ranges so powerful. It's just what options have priced in every week, and we are going to update you on those tomorrow. Okay, so come back on Sunday, maybe subscribe or something like that so you do see it, and we'll give you these risk ranges for the SPY and the Qs. But what we notice here is as we do get close to that positive or that negative territory, right, the center line here to go for a negative trend, we're actually seeing that cross over and we're seeing an upward move. And that's just because we are still in positive territory. We are still close enough to that center line to start a negative trend, but you really need to take out this low to really set up a lower low at this point and then make some kind of lower high and really begin that negative trend. But we need some kind of, more selling than a sideways type selling. You're going to need a more rapid style selling in order to get you deep within that negative territory to start that trend at this point. The Qs, we're going to update you on these weekly ranges tomorrow as well. So on Sunday, we're going to update you on that. And the Qs are a little different because they do have that high up here and they do have a low. And maybe now we are setting up some kind of lower high to really take out this low and solidify that negative trend beginning. And the other difference on the MACD here is you're going to notice that we are still just barely in positive territory, but we were able to get a little deeper into that negative territory. So if this does roll over, we can see if we get that sell off enough to get into deeper levels down in this negative area here below that center line, right? And then we can see that negative trend really begin. But this is a good sign that we have a high up here, we have a low, and if we do solidify this as some kind of lower high, we take out this low, it really tells you that the direction of stocks, or at least the Qs for the time being, will be to the downside. Now, here's Apple on the hourly, and you can see I did give you those risk ranges for this week. And when we get up towards that area, we do see that resistance come in. Okay, so we see that resistance come in. We have a high at this point. We have another lower high. We have another lower high if this does cross back down to the downside, and we have a low, we have a lower low, and we are seeing this consecutively on Apple. So it seems like a negative trend is forming, but we need a more distinct sell-off, right? You need a more distinct sell-off to cut below this low and kind of ruin any kind of consolidation that could be happening at this level. So this is what we're paying attention to on Apple, and we're going to touch on that on Sunday. Amazon's another one we were paying attention to. If you were able to join my live video on Friday, I really do appreciate it. It was fun. I'm sorry, Jerome Powell is a little bit of a dud, but I also talked about that reversal signal while it was forming live. So it was pretty cool. I love interacting with you guys, but on Amazon, we had some questions about this, and you do see this high up here. You have a lower high again. You have another lower high. These kind of highs are competing at this point, and you do have that low and a lower low. So I really, really think that because we're near that negative territory, if you do take out this low in a little bit more sudden fashion, then we can see that negative trend fully begin. And I believe the direction for stocks for the next couple of weeks will be to the downside, giving us that pullback. Tesla, we were paying attention to a lot. We had that 2 hour we were really paying attention to up here, that 2 hour divergence. We were being patient. You get your little trade in here, and then you get that downward move. Okay, so we do get that downward move here, but we're really just back within this consolidation at this point. Okay, so if we do break, we could see that we would be in positive territory, and maybe we do want to go test this high. Maybe we do want to get another retest, right? Break out of this little trend line here. But if you are looking to the bear side, I would really pay attention to a close beneath these lows here. If you're getting a closing bar on the daily beneath these lows, it's a good sign that we're at least going to come fill this gap down here. And we may even go all the way down to that 207.42 zone that we've been talking about, where I see a nice bottoming out over the next couple weeks for Tesla. Nvidia's big to pay attention to, especially on the hourly, because you're noticing how in negative territory it is. This thing really led the market on the daily. It was the first one to cross on the MACD. It's the first one that looks like it's starting that negative trend. You got a highs, you have a low, you have another lower low, you have another lower low, you have the high, you have another lower low. So we're really seeing that negative trend on Nvidia, you are seeing price coil up and get a little tighter. So we could see an explosive move, and maybe we actually do come up first. So we want to pay attention to that, to the bull side, and see if this is able to, you know, stay in positive territory, start another positive trend. But if that does roll back over in the negative territory, you're going to most likely see this low taken out, and we're going to head to lower levels with that negative trend kind of continuing on Nvidia. Now let's talk about what we were talking about live on Friday while it was developing, was the fact that the SPY was actually making a high while the Qs were lagging behind and coming down to lower levels. Okay, so this is the overall signal that we were mentioning live, and this is the signal that has called almost every single big reversal in the market since July. Okay, so we really want to pay attention to this, because this signal right here has called a lot of tops, a lot of bottoms, a lot of bounces and things like that. Okay, so we are going to actually go all the way back to July on Sunday and show you guys every single time this happened and show you what the reaction was when we got this signal. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how it can be invalidated. Okay, so come back on Sunday, maybe subscribe so that you do see the video pop up on your main feed there and you don't miss out on this signal, because it has produced every single reversal since July. That's all we're going to do for today, because we really want you guys to have a good weekend. Focus on kind of reloading and then be prepared for Sunday night. That way we can kind of take some time off for a moment and then get back into it right before the week starts. Thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, commenting, and showing up to my live video. I really do appreciate it. I do have this new mic here because my other mic just kept being staticky whenever I recorded. So thankfully, I do have a nice Yeti mic here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Peace.